Uranus in Gemini is coming through like a wrecking ball, whether you like it or not. It's here to demolish our old comfort zones, eradicate the old limitations and constraints that we might not even have realized have been keeping us stuck. And I promise you, this isn't anything to fear. But you get to make the choice. Are you gonna show up with your hard hat, ready to direct things and participate? Or are you gonna hide out and try to cling on to the old? In which case things might have to get a little bit more uncomfortable. Uranus isn't here to just cause chaos. It's not a malefic planet. It just commands authenticity, and it does not take kindly to being suppressed or limited. So here's what you're gonna do. You are going to find where Gemini is in your chart. That's gonna represent the areas of life and the themes that you are probably gonna be pushed to confront. Get really honest with yourself about what is no longer fitting in that area of life, and show up for the task of letting yourself innovate and expand, even if it's temporarily uncomfortable. One of the things I love about Uranus transits is it honestly makes it more uncomfortable for us not to change than to change. So if you have Gemini in your 4th house, so this is going to be for my Pisces risings or late degree Aquarius risings, because I use Placidus and we have that nuance there. The 4th house is the root chakra. It is our inner foundation. And honestly, it makes up a lot of our nervous system because it brings us back to our early childhood, our first introduction to home life and safety. It often contains a lot of information about our inherited narratives, the beliefs about ourselves that were really never ours to begin with. In so many ways, it represents our comfort zone within the chart. I wonder if there are going to be themes here that force you to look more honestly at certain elements of yourself, your life, your family that you have come to depend on. You might realize something about your own childhood that shakes up your sense of identity. You might no longer be able to tolerate playing small or showing up in the roles that low-key you kind of needed to. You might recognize how you have been seeking a feeling of home not on your own terms. So this could look like an actual move, making your home space more authentic for you. But I think pretty universally, this transit is inviting you to rethink everything you thought about yourself, what you think you need in order to feel safe and secure. You might need to start setting different boundaries to protect your peace. And since it's in Gemini, I'm wondering if there's something here about literally rewriting your story or rewriting your core narrative. Uranus transiting through the 4th house is here to point out all of the ways that you have been subtly keeping yourself limited based on conditioning and baggage that isn't necessarily yours. This transit is inviting you to carve out a feeling of home that is so much more authentic than I think you guys could possibly even imagine. The foundation of your self-concept, the foundation of your nervous system is due for a little demolition and some major updates and improvements. Now, if you have Gemini in your 5th house, so you're either going to be an Aquarius rising or a late degree Capricorn rising. This is a fun one because the 5th house is inherently a pretty fun house usually. It's romance, it's self-expression, it's play, it's creativity. It also rules over having children and symbolically our own inner child. It's how we seek pleasure, how we seek joy, and how we choose to express ourselves. And I'm actually finishing up this transit, so I can speak a little bit to what I have just gone through. I got sober. I met my now wife. I started working on a lot of my attachment wounds, had to look pretty honestly at how I was choosing to seek out joy and creativity, and instead align myself with something much more authentic, something that actually worked for me, hence the sobriety. I felt like I got back in touch with my inner child in an entirely new way. I also started pursuing astrology more seriously and doing TikTok. So for you, I want you to think about how you are seeking joy and pleasure. Is it sustainable? Is it realistic, healthy? Does it actually serve you? What are the ways that you are subtly shape-shifting when it comes to your self-expression in order to be seen and feel worthy of being seen and get that external validation? The old ways that you have found joy, the patterns that have kind of followed you around in dating and romance, yeah, those might not fit anymore. I want you to think about what authentic self-expression would look like for you if you stopped worrying about approval. I want you to think about the ways that your own inner child is still seeking liberation. And if you're feeling a little restless, a little rebellious, that's indicated. Make sure you're directing it, engaging with intention. Find different hobbies. Make it a point to seek out new and unexpected experiences that you just want to try for the heck of it. You never know what you're going to find, but this transit is truly inviting you to connect to joy from an entirely authentic place. All right, if you're like me and you have Gemini in your 6th house, so you're either going to be a Capricorn rising or a late degree Sagittarius rising. The 6th house is our body. It's our work, it's our routine, it's everyday habits, it's what we are in service to. It's actually the house where we want some organization, we want some routine, but sometimes we get so rigidly stuck in that comfort zone that we don't recognize that we are being in service to somebody else. Or we are caught up in patterns that actually don't benefit us and keep us further away from our own bodies. this. Your old routines may suddenly feel unbearable. And I don't want you guys to worry. I've talked to a lot of people that are worried about, sixth house Uranus, am I going to get sick? Am I going to have a health issue? That's not what this means. You need to make it a point to get in touch with your body, with what authentically feels good. Whenever we get sick, whether it's a cold or something more major, it's an invitation to return back to ourselves. It forces us to slow down, go within, tune into what we have probably been subconsciously tuning out, and make the necessary changes to actually heal. So I don't know about you, but I'm starting to look at my little subtle people-pleasing patterns that are represented by the sixth house. I'm starting to look at all the ways that I stay really, really busy, perhaps in flight from feeling my feelings. All the little tasks that I feel like I have to do to stay safe and organized. OCD. And I'm thinking about whether or not it really fits or makes sense. This is an invitation to awaken that mind-body connection, to integrate wellness practices, or take a look at your work-life balance. Is your daily life and your daily routine actually supporting your freedom and supporting your authenticity, or is it suppressing it? How much of your sense of self-worth or lovability is connected to your productivity? Where are you overly intellectualizing different things when the actual fact is you probably just need to let yourself feel? Whatever this brings up for you, it is going to be intolerable not to live your life from a place of 100% authenticity. And if you feel this sense of urgency or anxiety, maybe some racing thoughts, or, any of that fun little Gemini mental stimulation, how can you let all of that work for you and not against you? How can you start to be driven by your own authentic curiosity and excitement? Start listening to the wisdom your body has to offer. Personally, I'm excited for this one. All right, stay tuned for the next one. Love you all.